escape music?
It is, yeah. It's the best song for, like, vaguely spooky spots.
I would say we are in a vaguely spooky spot right now.
Yeah.
Right.
A little worried for our well-being.
And if we press the button. Cool. So, you guys are split up. We have, obviously, Sparks, Sleer together. After having been threatened, menaced by Deman and his thugs.
Deman.
And then we have Ulster and the Dehanes. What's new?
Ulster loves hanging out with the Dehanes.
Yeah. After freeing some pixies and
Ulster
adopting.
is a Dehane now.
Yeah, he is. And adopting an owlbear. A griffin, an owlbear and a baby griffin cub. Yep. Who are sort of chirping at your heels. The owlbear, however, I will say, because his fur is filled with pixies. Ulster, have you cast Speak with Animals last game?
Yeah.
Would turn to you and say, oh, friend, thank you.
Thank you for saving me. I was so thirsty.
Thank you for saving me. But I must take my pixie friends to safety. Will you look after Griff?
Wait, where is it going?
To safety.
What about the griffin?
Will you look after Griff?
Why can't you take Griffin with you?
I can't protect Griff by myself whilst I'm protecting 7 pixies.
How are you going to protect the pixies?
They hide in my fur. My feathers.
Okay. But you're going to stay with me, right?
Do you have a camp I can return to?
Yeah, I do.
Give me your scent and I'll find you. It will take a sniff of your palm.
Yeah, well, maybe actually stay because it's his so maybe.
You smell like him. The same. I wonder why.
No.
So the owlbear will meet you back on the ship so that I only have to
Also,
keep track.
the griffin.
The griffin clings to you very closely. It's like, my Porsche.
I've only just met you, but if anyone hurts you, I will kill them.
Oh. I'll be your noble steed when I grow big.
Nice.
Well, Lauren's like, wait, you've already got a noble steed.
I can have multiple noble steeds.
Can I have one?
No.
Oh. I'll be Alma then. No. You guys head back through the sort of underbelly of Ironstone, this market with interconnected, seedy taverns, all catering to different fetishes and revolting gourmet tastes.
I wouldn't call these fetishes anymore. I would just call these crimes.
Crimes. Sparks and Sleer, the two of you are obviously looking for information for Sai, essentially. You know that he has connections with the sort of Thieves Guild that operate in this place. You ascertained a location which you guys might be able to contact him at, or at least arrange a meeting with him. And you have arrived here. There is a kind of decrepit temple that is just ahead of you. The kind of awning is this like stone, like Parthenon-esque structure. The pillars obviously look like once they were sort of like hewn to indicate maybe like waves. Perhaps once this was like a temple to a sea deity, considering how close Ironstone is, like just beyond the mining school is obviously the sea. But it's been graffitied and carved into like really crudely to look like hands reaching up out of what appears to be a rolling kind of like dune almost, like sand almost. And at the sort of center of this temple's Parthenon, at the very peak, just so you know how there's like that facade, is an eye with 3 spokes beneath it. The steps do not look welcoming. The doors look like spooky haunted house doors, but you might have information inside, and I think you guys are pretty brave. So are you going to go in, or are you going to do something, take another course of action?
I think, I mean, this is the place that we were both. Yeah.
Interesting.
I wonder if I could have a spell or ability up. Let me check. Possibly one of detection around us. But otherwise, I'd sort of be approaching, trying to look normal.
Okay, that's fine. No, seriously, that's a reason enough in itself. So you kind of think about your spells, like, nah, I can look normal. I can just, and you kind of walk your way up these stairs. You do draw eyes. You had those people kind of already following you with their eyes after your interaction with Daman and his crew. Thank you, darling. But now, kind of approaching here, you draw the eyes of a couple more people who were sort of previously hidden in the shadows of pillars, who now you kind of see revealed are wearing like kind of hooded cloaks in similar shades to Sai. You've met a few different representatives of different shady organizations or rebellious organizations. You've met people from the Thieves Guild. You've met Sai and his sort of like off branch with Sobek so far, which is Be the Wear and Back, that they both seem to have some affiliation to. But Sai also has that sort of more seedy past that he shares with Cass, having met her down in the dumps, up in the Zero in the Gauntlet. And you can see representatives of both sides of that coin. The Thieves Guild with their kind of green cloaks, and then Sai's like kind of people wearing like a darker shade like a black and a brown. The doors are closed. You guys can enter if you wish to, or you can knock.
I think looking to Celia, it'd be polite to knock, right?
Indeed.
Right.
Okay, who will do the honours?
I would love to, but
Mm-hmm. Okay, you knock, and the door opens. Inside is a large rectangular room. The stone that this sort of place is hewn from on the outside is like decrepit and grey, but the moment you sort of like step through this door, you feel almost like a vacuous pull. You step through and the sounds of the seedy area from outside are immediately cut off. And there is instead just a sort of heavy silence. In the centre of this room, obviously let me just explain again. There are pillars on either side of this sort of room. 4 on one side, 4 on the other. You don't see any other exits, no doors, nothing, no windows, even though from the outside you saw windows. And in the very centre of this room, there is a rough granite altar or desk.
There's sacrifice us.
It's hard to say, but it looks like, upon close inspection from you, Sleer, with your various passives, a altar that has been repurposed into a desk. So it's quite menacing in its shape and like its dressings. But there is a quill pot with ink. There are some scroll weights to hold scrolls open. And there is nobody sitting behind it.
But the door opened for us, right?
The door opened for you when you knocked.
Just to check around the back of the door. Is there an attendant there, or is this some sort of magic contraption?
So on the back of one door, you sort of push it closed, and as you you push it to sort of see, and as you start closing it, it closes itself and goes with a quite decisive, heavy noise. and on the back of one door, you see a closed eye, and on the back of the other door, you see a hourglass.
Is the hourglass actually is the sand ticking over?
It is a sculpture. Sorry, it's sort of an
Okay.
engraving in the stone. Doesn't seem to be ticking. Yet.
Can I roll religion since this is a temple?
Of course you can.
I think that's a great idea, and I'd also love to do that.
Okay, religious folks, can you roll for me?
Excuse me. There's a good roll on the floor, but I won't take. Oh, that's terrible. Okay. 5.
Okay.
And
It could have been
21.
a 17.
21. You are sort of busy looking very closely at the fine details, whereas Aelin, Celia steps back and tries to take in the whole picture. Sparks, you can't really recall any deity or religious figure order that would use symbology such as this. Celia, you know that this is unusual for the area. The fact that it's been defaced on the outside to kind of pay homage to this god suggests it's a fringe religion. Your knowledge of fringe religions, I assume because you're a knowledge cleric with a voracious appetite, would be sort of sweeping enough to know that these seem to be the symbology of Alaan, the deity that oversees chaos and destruction. And you kind of think for a moment, and considering that Tiamat and Bahamut sort of are two sides of the same coin, Tiamat sort of also overseeing destruction and how that's been repurposed by the country to kind of be a positive thing, like a destruction and rebirth, worshipped in tandem with Bahamut. You think that potentially there could be some seedier people who would prefer to just see destruction rather than the whole rebirth thing, who maybe have turned to this deity here. But you don't really see anyone here who you could talk to about it. You do just see this desk. Whilst you guys, okay.
Oh, I was, to Celia, should we wait here for somebody? Should we wait here for the rest of our party? Or would you rather do some checking?
I mean, we can always look around, and if we come across someone, we can ask questions, but if we stay near this main area, it should be fine, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You guys kind of exploring here, all stare. You make your way through the sort of labyrinthine passages of this undermarket area and eventually break out into, again, what Loran says is the main square. You see a decrepit temple. You know that the others went in there as from your discussions previously. And Loran says, we sort of picked out 2 targets. One was an area that hopefully would have access to a teleportation circle, and the other was one that had access to information. Do you want to rejoin the party, or would you like to seek out the other objective? DM speak.
I don't know. What do you think is the better option?
I don't think I can make that decision for you, darling.
You think it's the better option?
Well, if I was being steadfast and straightforward as I am, characterized by, I would suggest joining the party is always smart. Unless, of course, this teleportation thing is a time-sensitive matter.
Is it?
Loran says, I don't think so.
Okay, then let's rejoin the party and introduce. He pops up the griffin. What's your name?
My name is Covelio. Covelio.
That's a lovely name.
C-O-V.
Pardon. C-O-V.
E-L-E-O. Covelio.
Lovely.
It's definitely not two authors' names mixed together from the books on my shelf. Covelio. That's right.
Alright. Well, I hope you don't mind sticking around a little longer. Got some important sleuthing to do.
So long as you aren't going to eat my claws.
Why would I eat your claws?
Dunno. I feel like you'd eat weird things.
I'm a pescatarian.
Do you eat bark? And bugs?
I don't really like bugs.
I like bugs.
They're a good source of protein, so I won't begrudge you that.
I like beetles the best.
I can find you some beetles.
Can I have some beetles now?
Allstar holds up a finger to the Ran and Sarah's and squats down by the edge of the building, waits for like 20 seconds, and then picks up a cockroach and gives it to the griffin. There we go.
Thank you.
Fit for the road.
Can I have a cockroach now?
You just had one.
Can I have another one?
No. Keeps walking.
Okay. Just every 5 seconds ask for another cockroach. Or a snuggle.
I have a child now.
You do. So you guys approach the temple and you get the sort of same treatment. You can either approach, like knock, or go through the door.
Let's walk in like we own the place.
Yeah, you walk in like you're in the place. You open the door. And inside, you see, of course, a stone room with 4 pillars on either side. You close the door, and there is a desk akin to an altar. But
Gotta sacrifice someone.
the room appears to be empty. And guys, when you are when sort of standing in the room as you are, the door does not open. There is no sense that anyone has entered.
Interesting.
The only thing that happens, however, is that two things sort of happen simultaneously. The door shuts, and the hourglass on the back of the door, you just hear this like scraping noise that goes.
Hourglass.
I'm talking to them first, and then I'll talk to you. The hourglass kind of like starts to turn over, and the sand in the engraving begins to trickle down as if it's a real hourglass to the lower section.
Let's not fuck with hourglasses, okay?
Mm-hmm. The eye on the closed eye on the other door, as the sand trickles down.
Is this an Alaan temple?
Slowly, yes, I said it was. Slowly begins to open up. And you guys have yourselves a cheeky little puzzle on your hands, because we love those. So let me put on some appropriate music. We are going to be entering what I believe some call turn-based mode.
Okay.
No, this music stresses me.
Yeah, I like this music a lot.
What's it called?
Countdown.
From what?
Assassin's Creed.
So you're gonna say from Countdown?
No, we're going to
Jeopardy.
we're going to go in the order of who entered the temple first. So we're going with Sleer and Sparks. You guys can take your turns simultaneously, and then we'll move on to Allstar, Alaan, and Sarazen. So the room is 20 feet by about 15 feet. It's not huge.
Mm-hmm.
4 pillars on either side, an altar with an inkwell and a sort of long sort of scroll that's been held down on all ends. And that is as far as all you can see, as far as you know. What would you like to do?
Sorry, you.
I was just going to make a clarification. So, for party 1, as I'm going to call it, we've got the hourglass pouring. And for party 2, they've got the eye opening.
Both are happening simultaneously to both of you.
Okay.
So you guys both see this. The reason I was addressing you guys first is because you're going to go first.
I wanted to make sure that this wasn't like differing events, but we are engaged in
see the same thing.
events. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Something has triggered this from your guys' perspective.
But we don't see each other.
Who knows what? You don't see each other, no.
Okay.
I was thinking anyway of doing see invisibility. But once this is started, this might also be a good idea, just in case we are in the same space. So I'm gonna cast see invisibility. It lasts for an hour, so anyway. I can see invisible creatures and objects, and I can see into the ethereal plane. And if things are ethereal, then they appear ghostly and translucent. So,
yep.
Just yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Just in case. I think next I would sort of approach the desk. So if we have time,
you do. You have time to sort of describe to me your action, and I will have you
read the scroll.
So that will be probably an investigation check.
All right.
If you want to.
Can I assist with this check since
you can do, yeah. You guys are kind of going at the same time, so if you're walking around the same area, investigating the same things.
Yeah.
You're in tandem.
Holy shit! It's an 18. I rolled 19, but it's an 18.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, on the paper, at first, you guys sort of don't remark anything unusual or out of the ordinary about it. However, as you guys investigate, you see the inkwell, Sleer, and you pointed out to Bluey, and both of you kind of pick up the ink, the quill, and you realise the drip on the end. The ink is a very strange reddish colour, akin to, it seems, to be blood.
Oh yeah.
And the kind of the way it looks, the sort of congealingness of it, it seems to be fresh, like incredibly fresh.
We have to sacrifice our blood.
Do we have to make a contribution, do you think? And what would we be signing ourselves up for?
As you guys sort of state that, on the scroll.
Just write your name in the guest book.
Mm-hmm.
Guest book. That'd be very, very funny.
Just sign your name in the guest book, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely it. You're not signing away eternity.
Nothing at all like that. So, on the scroll, why is my camera so laggy? Sorry, it's.
Yep. Good time to take my meds.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. On the scroll, it says, "Who will escape the sands of time?"
Oh, God.
Okay. Also, we're just going to kind of like parallel what you're seeing. Loran immediately notices the hourglass situation. And
What happens when it turns all the way around?
nothing good. And Sarazar is kind of already briskly walking along the corridor, kind of hand on his sword, along the room, investigating each of these sort of like plinths. And he says there seem to be inscriptions on here, but
You want to turn your camera on?
oh, why am I not on? Sorry. There seem to be inscriptions on here, though I have a feeling either these are magical or we have stalkers. He points to one, and you sort of see inscribed upon the stone here a magnificently clad dragonborn holding a sword aloft and standing at the top of what appears to be kind of like a cliff face overlooking a beautiful sort of like cityscape. And the dawn is kind of rising behind her like a beacon almost. And it is Bluey, it seems. And as you kind of approach, almost like a holographic sticker, it kind of, the image sort of appears. And you can approach the different
What are the other ones?
Ulster, you can look at the one beside Bluey.
Who's a sexy librarian?
You see the one beside Bluey seems to be a tiefling. A tiefling kind of drow, you imagine.
Inferring.
And they are wearing this cloak which disappears into the entirety of the column. And it is sort of like spangled with stars.
Yeah,
and you see a hand on their shoulder that seems to be larger and like touching them in almost like a fatherly kind of way. I wonder who that could be.
Yeah, sees that and is like, oh.
For sure.
What did you just do? Did you hit your thumb? What did you do?
Punched.
You punched something.
Punched myself.
Oh no!
Why is life so hard for the chronically clumsy? Why do I keep hurting myself?
Oh.
Also, with the Northern Lights. Soon.
Poor Emma. Chronically clumsy.
Keep the pressure on it. It tends to help.
Mm-hmm.
Would you believe me if this is not the first time Emma has punched herself today?
She's not. But it's already like... Oh, it's already like blood blistering. It is not a happy...
You'll be okay. We'll put it under cold water if it gets worse, okay? Do you want to do that now?
No, it's fine. It's alright. It's okay. Hang on. I need to remember who I've done. So everyone. Sorry, I'm joking. Married everyone.
Marriage.
Marriage.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Okay. Cool. Okay. You can go around to all of them if you like.
Yeah, I went to see all of them.
Yep. So you see, obviously, the one that interests you probably the most. There are motifs that represent all the major players in what appears to be to you the legendary kind of like fragmentation which preceded this.
Okay, but
and
you need to tell me who's in them.
I'm telling you. I was going to tell you the one. Yeah, I was going to tell you who's in them. I was just kind of like prologuing that in case you were being too impatient there.
I am impatient.
Okay. You see Bluey, Sleer, as I've already described. You see one is entirely blank, which probably intrigues you.
Is Neff that?
You see one which seems to sort of mimic the motifs of the temple, the eye sort of splitting open under each of Cass's other eyes.
Yeah.
You see, interestingly, you obviously see yourself.
What am I doing? At a pool party?
Ulster, you are sitting upon a throne with one eye. Your hair sort of spills all the way around you, and at your feet you see 3 bodies.
Oh, fuck, okay.
You can't quite recognize them, though.
What do they look like?
They're humanoid.
Okay.
One in the middle sort of seems to be elven. On the other side, you see tiefling, perhaps.
3 bodies.
Yeah. And then on the other side of that, a figure that you don't recognize.
What do they look like, though? Are they humanoid? Are they...
Humanoid, tiefling,
3 bodies. Okay.
elven, 3 bodies. And behind you, there is this sort of like fractal that seems to be kind of like sharp points all like gearing towards the crown on your head.
Okay.
Great!
Okay. And is there one for Loran and Sarazar as well?
Yep. Loran's seems to be a continuation of that fractal pattern. And in this one, you see kind of more of a you that you would understand. It seems that you share this podium. Loran and you sort of like clasping each other with the sort of sunburst from behind. But it sort of bleeds in with that fractal pattern. And then the last 2 are obviously occupied. One is occupied by Sarazar, who mimics Bluey's pose, holding the sort of sword aloft. And kind of at his sort of like side, you see like the different children from the sisterhood who you've all recovered. Danielle feels like she's like kind of like referenced there in one of like the tiefling figures. You can get the impression that like Valis might have been referenced there in one of the younger. And then the last one is Gerald, and you appear in this motif as well, mirroring each other back to back.
And do I also see what they've seen as who will escape the sands of time?
Unfortunately, your turn is relatively spent, having investigated these.
Well, that was fucking
pillars.
weird, because none of this has happened.
But because there are 3 people kind of in your group.
These are stone templates all around the room.
Yeah, they're carved into the columns. And the carvings kind of appear as you walk past them. And they seem to represent, you can sort of delineate. One of them is Ulster, one of them is Loran, one of them is Sleer, one of them is Bluey, one is Gerald, one is Empty, one is Cass, and one is Sarazar. And there is quite an easy definition of which is which, based on which figure takes up the most space in the motif facade. You know what I'm trying to say. So, guys, I'm really sorry. My camera is so slow. I'm just going to turn it off and on again. I might have to just do that every now and again.
That's fine.
Okay, it's really distracting. Cool. Okay, Sparks. Excuse me. I said that you'd have one more piece of information because there are 3 people in your team. I think Loran would have gone up to the altar and looked on the paper, and you see him pick up a quill and write down something.
Mm-hmm. Can I respond to that at all?
Yeah, you can.
What are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Who will die a defender of the people, right? Bluey.
Or Sarah.
Who will die, defender of the baby princess? More like.
It's still all Sarah.
I just went with my gut.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say got him, but I'm not sure he did get him.
Bluey. In your your version of event, your room, wherever you are, you see all of a sudden one of the columns on the left side light up, and you see a motif of yourself holding a sword, and it glows a kind of like an electric kind of blue. Now, from this moment onwards, I'm going to simplify this. The questions are going to be written on the script, okay, on the page, and you all need to give the same answers to the questions in order to complete the puzzle. Okay. So I've given you one.
Thanks, Laran.
I'm giving you one. Bluey and Sleer, and I'm just going to sort of read out the questions, and you guys can write down your answers. Okay.
Do I have to write down some for our team?
Yes, so you have to come up with them for your team with Laran and Sarah. So
Cool.
we can obviously.
How many questions are there?
Oh well, there's 8 questions.
Have we answered the first one?
And one's
You've answered Bluey. You guys need to answer from this point onwards. So,
numbers.
you guys both.
Okay.
I'm gonna say you guys can both have Bluey as like a free slot. Bluey Sparks, how do you feel about that?
I think did anything appear on the parchment? The scroll?
Funnily enough, no. Your question remains the same.
Who will escape the sands of time?
Who will? Okay, but how did? Oh,
That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's harder.
oh, wait.
It's really hard. They vary from really easy to really hard.
But also, there's Neff who is missing, who they will have no idea about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but does Leah have any
you like
memory of?
To simplify this again?
Mm.
No, we start off. You guys can change your answers later on if you
that's
think
really useful.
You're welcome. It's okay. So write down a gut response, and you write them down as a team, and then you guys can compare with my.
And Gerard is also an option.
Gerard is also an option. Okay.
Are we discussing this as players? Or thinking about this as
you
players.
guys can do it however you want to. I'm not gonna sort of stop you, so long as there is no like exposing of your answers to a huge degree.
Also, we can't tell each other our answers. We have to write them down.
Yep.
Okay.
Only Sleer and Bluey, unfortunately, because you guys split up.
That's fine.
Are in a separate team. You guys would have had to do this puzzle anyway. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit more complicated. Okay, so who will escape the sands of time? If you guys want to confer via text, you can.
Is this the second question?
Sorry.
For you, this is the second question. For you guys, the Bluey question is a free pass because Laran, I gave you that so that you guys would figure out
the
what
first
puzzle
one.
is.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just write these questions?
Yeah. Who will escape the sands of time?
Who will die? Defender of the people?
Who will die? Defender of the people.
She did die. Emma, Alan and I have conferred. Do you want me to send what we think?
I trust you. I trust you. You can send them all at the end if you want to.
Why don't you guys send it all in a private chat?
Yeah, sure. Cool.
As in make a...
I got a whiteout in case I want to change my answer.
In case you want to change your answers.
I'm writing in pencil.
That's cowardly.
Oh, I mean, I was writing in pencil from the beginning because it's so easy to write one.
I'm just being mean.
I usually write in pen because I take notes in different color pens depending on the session.
It's a pen. It's a pen. It's a pen case.
Okay.
Everyone else.
It's a pen case. I got it.
Emma got it.
I got it. Of course I got it.
You need to watch Johnny's one.
Need to watch what, sorry?
Uramichi Oni-san. The one I sent like was memes for, which is like, where's my smile and we'll live? God. It's right.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, next question.
Okay. So the next question, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who wears the clothes of a villain but has the heart of a friend? Mm-hmm.
Are they sending me out?
I haven't. Are you sending me on Facebook?
I can.
Send them. So you can send them at the end, so I don't have any reaction if you want to.
Okay. Yeah. True. All right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let me look at our options. I think we know who this is. Yeah.
I think that was an easier one.
Yeah. Some of these are easier. Some of them are harder. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the second one was hard.
Yeah, that one I made that run deliberately really, really hard because I felt that when I wrote the others, I was like, these are really, really obvious.
Well, the second one could be multiple people, but I've gone for someone who has a word association with sand. So
Not gonna comment. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. You guys ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Who treads upon the night sky with a heart full of woe and a soul full of knowledge?
and a soul full of knowledge.
Yeah.
That's a long one.
Mm-hmm.
Also easy.
Also easy. We're building our way up. Okay. Now, just if this is too hard or too esoteric, I have backup questions.
You're like too difficult on the scroll, and it's like, okay, I give you a hint.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll a knowledge check as my casting a lifeline?
Yeah.
Can I ask the audience? Can I get 50-50? Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Who drinks the blood? Who drinks the life? Who withers the plants?
Also easy.
Whoa.
One who
Drinks the life, who withers the plants?
Sorry, can you repeat the full question?
Who drinks the blood? Who drinks the life? Who withers the plants? Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that I'm a meme. I'll send you a serious answer.
Who hollows himself to sustain another?
Whoa.
At least I gave you a gender by accident. It's actually genderless in the question.
So who hollows themselves?
To sustain another.
I think we're going to do really well on this test.
Mm-hmm.
God, those last two are very depressing. But But if they're reflective of reality, then reality is depressing.
Reality's sad.
Mm-hmm.
This is not reality.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Actually, I don't know why I thought one of them was hard when it's got another, again, a word, which is quite obvious. Who are you?
Oh!
How are they going to answer that one?
Don't worry. Don't worry. I thought ahead.
What the?
Sleer, just remember what happened 2 sessions ago when you came back from the real world with your memories.
God, was that to prepare us? So sorry, I've just got something very strange in the back of my chair.
Mm.
It's a giant spider.
No, it's not. Oh, don't.
It's a weird residue that it's on the back of both of them.
Okay. Last question.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Who walks the halls of kings, defending, protecting.
Is that the whole question?
Yep.
I think I got 4 marks.
I think you guys probably played it quite easy.
There you go.
Yeah. Pretty good. Okay. Can I
Did
see?
I get 100%?
Can I see your guys' answer?
Did I get 100?
Oh, I need to compare the answers first.
Okay. Shall I message you, Emma, with them?
Yeah.
All right.
Did I get full marks?
You got.
Yay! I love being praised for getting full marks. I feel like Loran and Sarah are super confused by some of these.
Yeah, they're like, wait. Okay, fab. Okay, good. Right, so
Fuck
you
yeah.
guys.
Did we win?
Okay. As you write on the paper, you notice the blood gets lower and lower with each name that you inscribe. The columns light up one by one in these kind of like corresponding phosphorescent colours. You've got the electric blue for Louis. You've got a borealis for Sleer. You have the kind of ice white silver for Ulster, a bright gold for Loran, a kind of midnight dark purple for Dural, black for one of the columns, which just seems to ooze deeper shadow than you're expecting, but doesn't seem to show anything. A red for Cass, and for Sarah's a warm green. And with both of you guys getting perfect marks. To be fair, I realised that there were 2 questions that I thought were really difficult. And one that I thought was ambiguous, and I maybe should have left the more ambiguous ones and done the difficult ones first, so that you guys would have had like,
I
wait.
think the hardest one was who will escape the sound of time.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense. There is a word sort of in most of them which indicates who it is.
Well, the sand gave, well, we both said Cass. The sand is what connects it to Cass.
Yeah. Sand, villain, knowledge,
if Carol had been
plants.
in the list, I would have thought that could also be Carol.
Yeah. Plants, kings, and then obviously Bluey's is quite complicated. Defender, and then Loran's is hollows.
We should probably take a small break to go look at the light.
Let's go look at the northern lights, and then I'll tell you what happens. We'll be right back. Sure. So, you guys kind of fade into the same room as one another, starting off as like a kind of a shade, and then all at once, as these kind of like columns all light up, you see Ulster, Loran, and Saraza kind of like blink, apparate into reality. And you guys are standing in this temple space. And as you are brought together, the scroll slowly begins to kind of like disintegrate. And it has this quality to it, like decay almost, but like not flesh decay, but like the decay that you'd expect from like fungus or undergrowth almost. Like it seems to wither and age in front of you until it is just dust and mulch on the desk, at which point it just seeps into the altar. The inkwell is empty. Nothing changes, except that you can see each other now. And as you're sort of standing there waiting for something, you hear a kind of disembodied voice almost. It's not one that you recognize. It almost sounds like it's a pre-recorded message, like, but it seems like it's coming like reverberations, like an echo.
Welcome to the Temple of Alaan. Please keep your shoes off at the door.
And you just hear a voice say, "How morbid. It's like we've got to give our blood to that thing."
A voice at all recognizable. Also,
It's just a generic voice. You don't really place it. You could do an investigation check or an insight check.
I would like to insight check the voice.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Same.
Also, Emma, did anything when I cast see invisibility or whatever it is, did anything suddenly appear? Is there any like ethereal qualities about objects in the room? I don't know, or like
Yeah. See invisibility. Okay.
Rolled an 11, but it's an 18.
Sorry, I should have. Okay, cool. I should have clarified this. That you would have been able to see those inscriptions kind of like from the moment that you came in, without having to walk by them. But we'll add one more thing. Ulster, that voice, it's not something you can recognize. It seems to be like you can't quite place masculine, feminine, maybe something in between. The accent seems to be from a prayer. You get the impression that this is sort of something that someone has said whilst passing through this place before.
Well, I got nothing.
Slia's
Sarah's
was 21.
From that insight, again, you don't recognize this voice. It seems to be someone you don't know. It's probably someone who's passed through this temple. But with a 21 and an 18 together, you guys putting your heads together, even though also you say, "Oh, I've got nothing," after thinking it through as a team, as a crew, you get the impression you need to put some blood in that inkwell, replenish what you took.
I'll do it.
Loran gives you a withering glare. Sarah's will do it. Sarah's is like, I am the most stout, I suppose.
Well, can we all
All give a
We all
little
need
in the spirit of teamwork?
That'll be fab.
Fair enough.
And then we'd all be equally prone to infection.
Let's all use different weapons to do it. It only needs to be a drop, so you guys can pierce the tips of your fingers with your daggers or whatever, a needle, anything, as long as you can squeeze a drop of blood into that vial.
I bite mine.
Loran asks you to bite his, and he drips a bit of blood, sucks the wound.
I can do lay on hands for everyone if they want. if it does anything, but if it does no, well,
You
even
guys
if it
all
does no
take
damage.
1 point of damage from your
Okay.
piercing.
So I will heal.
And as
Castle rolled off the stairs, by the way.
So
Hi, Ron.
yeah,
He said,
says
continue.
Ran. Are there 5 of us?
yes.
All right, I do
And the
lay on
griffin.
hands.
The griffin
Did the
doesn't need
griffin?
to-
The griffin was
Um,
healed by Ulster, I believe.
Yeah, griffin doesn't need to.
Very good. Then lay on hands 5 times. Wait, you can lay on hands yourself, right?
Yeah.
You can.
You can touch a creature. All right, great.
And you qualify as a creature.
Indeed.
Creature.
As you guys do this, the inkwell is replenished and the quill kind of like levitates off where the scroll once was and sort of places itself back in. You look back towards the door. The eye is closed.
What happens when it opens?
You don't want to know. And the sand dial is turned back to its original. Excuse me, the hourglass. I couldn't remember the name for it. Is turned back to its original position.
What do you guys think happens when it goes all the way around?
And says, "I think we get turned to sand."
Oh. That doesn't seem that fun.
Hang on. Each column was one of us, except. Actually, Emma, how do we reconcile like knowing the names to write down, but not necessarily
Understanding.
remembering or understanding
I'll answer that
why?
question. I'll answer
Yeah.
that question for you right now. As you guys are kind of like thinking this over, maybe eyes flicking between knowing that there's something between you guys cannot acknowledge, but are desperate to discuss regardless. A voice kind of just calls out. You hear footsteps. Death, escape, ruin, glory, villains and heroes, predictions and promises. All these things and more could be, should you wish to grasp them, yours. Should you wish to avoid them, avoided. If, of course, only you take a leap of faith.
Are you trying to get us into a pyramid scheme?
You look behind and you see a gentleman in a cloak with, I'm going to turn this music off because I have to save it only for time-sensitive things. Sorry. With a familiar face, dark hair, pale skin, piercing eyes, kind of cropped hair on the sides, long on the top. Crop top. Crop top. Sai, who you've met once before, was once sort of a bit more of a out in the open, confronted by Cass, snivelling mess, seeing that she's not here now, seeming a bit bolstered. He walks out and he smiles and he says,
"Scarier than Cass." He says, holding the baby griffin.
"You know what? I wouldn't doubt it.
So much scarier.
But you're here. And this is where I operate from. I assume you haven't just sought me out for no reason. Have you considered turning your allegiances our way?" I can tell you.
I don't think we're looking to turn our eyes to this eye.
It's funny. But I assure you, regardless of whether or not you want to join, he sees you. Sees the struggles you may have, and always wants to offer a way to cut those away.
Sounds cultish.
Perhaps, but isn't all organized religion a little? Some of you have already dipped your toes in cults already, I'm sure. No, I'm sure has nothing to do with anything to do with you. He looks over at Bluey. Though I've heard some strange things about Carmen Trand. Are those proving true?
Well, I've met some strange people that are unsettling, and certainly the not leaving part. Okay, I like look. Ulster, I don't want to accuse this man of being in a cult when yeah.
He holds up his hand.
Shit, I just said your name.
Ulster. Don't you worry. I know what I need to know. And it seems he looks at the columns. You also knew what you needed to know.
Lucky guess.
I
think also hid his writings from Sarah's in the round, apart from the first one. Obviously, they're good.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, Sparks, as you kind of look over to the columns, kind of refocusing on them now that you have kind of been alerted to why these questions were posed to you, that one shadowed column with your see invisibility, you see a figure kind of standing in the shadows.
I will approach the column to look at the figure.
Okay. You approach. Fuck. Do you reach out and touch it?
Well, you know what? I think this is a bad idea. I think Bluey very slowly and visibly to everyone will start to like raise her hand to reach out. And that's an opportunity, I think, for other people to go.
You don't see what's in the shadows. But Bluey seems to be reaching towards the particularly dark shadows that have pooled around this blank column.
Does Sleia do anything?
I think Sleia kind of just like leans forward to see if she can see what Bluey's looking at.
No interruption.
You know what? I think seeing all the shadow and then thinking of all the other experiences with that sort of shadow, I think she's. I think you see her stop reaching out and maybe like tremble a bit.
Your instinct kind of like pulls you back, fighting with your desire to be in control, a bit more in control of the room, have all approaches covered when it comes to potential threats, to protect your friends. But you remember what you need to remember, that these shadows, they do bad things. Yeah, and you pull back. Sai looks at you curiously, and from the look on his face, you get the impression that he is unaware of what you're doing, perhaps unaware of whether or not there's even anyone supposed to be there at all. And he kind of ignores the oddity and just says, "You're here for information, I assume." Look, I'm open. I know what happened to the gauntlet. I haven't been able to contact Cass, but I assume she's all right.
I think yes.
Good. She made it out then. I'll tell you what I know to honor my friendship with her and the work we did together. But there are some things I cannot say. I hope you understand.
Oh, there.
Well, what do you want to know?
Do we have a list of questions?
You guys were looking for information about where the people you're looking for might be.
Okay, I'll present him with the list of people.
Okay, so his eyes. Yeah.
We would like to know any information pertaining to them.
Cool.
Birch, Blackfeather, Zenith, Bloodborne, but mostly Azkarak. That's who we're.
Particularly locations, no fatal weaknesses and allergies.
Also, Big Ed.
He has a look over and just says, the officials, some of them were at the gauntlet.
Any of them met with a happy accident?
I hope so. If these people are working against you, they're probably also working against me. I'm not really on the TNMAT team.
Well, maybe your benefactor might have future business proposals. Anyway, yes, continue.
Who knows? Alright, so let's say we write off Birch Blackfeather. Zenith Bloodborne will always be guarding the city.
You think Birch is dead?
I will contact people who can verify that for us. As a favour. But in return, I would like it if you could verify that Cass is all well when you have the time and send her my way.
But she's okay. Don't know where she is.
And send her my way. Just for a moment.
Why?
Well, we're business partners and I haven't heard from her in a while, so.
I think she's better friends with Joanne now.
Well, I'm scratching your back, you're scratching mine.
I'm not scratching your back at all.
I'm doing you a favour, you're doing me a favour.
Why would you say I was scratching your back?
It is an expression.
Scratching your. It's usually the scratching of the back in this metaphor is done with. Oh, sorry. This saying is done with sort of like just enough like pressure and to not harm, but actually like relieve an itch. But you know, you because you can't scratch your own back, but you can scratch someone else's. Then you can benefit each other.
You sort of scratch and you kind of keep missing. There's like one little spot and it's like, oh damn it, and Loran just scratches it for you.
Okay, let's move on.
He goes, right. Big Ed though. There I can help you. Yeah. Apparently he was kicking up a stink about Cass. I don't know why.
He was in love with Cass.
Right, that would explain why. And we keep tabs on people who could be a threat to the people we protect. And Cass is one of them. Last he was seen, he was at an old Thieves Guild safe house, but I can give you that location and hopefully he's still there.
Yes, please.
It was only a few days ago. If he's hiding out after the effects of the gauntlet, he might be injured. He could be dangerous. Do what you want to do. I'll know where to collect your bodies if there's any gold left over. I'm joking.
Is he always with his purple sash?
I mean, it's what indicates him to others of his crew, as far as we're aware. That's what they do in the north.
Good spy on the side.
But I couldn't promise you anything. I'm not from the north, so I don't know.
Okay. It was quite a sort of fashion piece that stuck out in memory.
Oh yeah.
You're so right, Sparks. I think that's a good idea. I will look for the sash in my magics later, because we're very accomplished and capable, and we know exactly what we're doing.
Okay. So you guys walking, sailing, flying?
Round? From the kitchen.
Okay.
What?
Me.
No, I meant how are you travelling? Because prices for the teleportation purple have gotten steep.
Well, I can teleport.
Well, that's from established circles to established circles. Anything more impressive than that,
We quite like a legal circle as well.
No, but I don't know a circle in a place I don't know. Does that make sense? I have a list of circles, legal and otherwise. I can see if there's one nearby, but we could also get teleported right to his doorstep if we pay the right person the right amount of money.
How much money are we talking about?
Sai sort of like thinks for a moment and says somewhere in between 700 and 800 gold.
You guys don't have that money.
Loran says, I do, but I don't want to use it. And Sarah says, you have that money? Yeah. Not on me. I can write a check. No one has 700 gold on them.
Also, immediately starts checking his pockets.
And you just withdraw a priceless artifact.
Okay, well, I have things that could be worth.
Sai's jaw drops and says, you know what, if you give me 2 of those frost brand silver rings, I will go get the guy, bring him here, and teleport you personally.
Done.
1 each. He slips a ring on his finger and then just heads out.
I don't really know what they're worth. Or
You get the impression from Loran's jaw on the floor that those rings you parted with were probably priceless, and he's like, oh!
Oh, wait, I can get you more. Maybe. If I ask nicely.
I'm just going to pop.
Those rings have. Okay. Those rings have sentimental
No,
value.
finish your.
Sentimental. No, I just, yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that are left lying around.
So, I think discussing with the other players, would
I'm gonna go to the
is Sai bringing Ed? Is that what he's proposing? Bringing Ed here?
I think he's going to teleport us.
So Emma's speakers are on, I think. Or maybe if you turn your speakers off, your volume off. Okay, all right. Very good. I should get my laptop charger. It's
Shall we? Been waiting for this moment. Sai returns with a wizard with long scraggly black hair and a black robe, tattoos of like runes on his arms.
Points. Huh?
He goes, huh?
Huh?
What?
You mean Sobek?
He shouldn't recognize any of us, though, because we're still in our disguises.
Are you all still in your disguises?
Yeah.
Okay, he's like,
I wouldn't have
hello?
dropped it.
Hello?
Loran's competitor.
He looks over and sees no one. He's like, well, no, actually, I just want you to know that our shops are very different and we cater to completely different clientele, so you can't put us in competition with one another. But I'm here to help you.
Should we drop our stuff, or in case we need to leave the building and still be disguised?
No, take all your belongings with you because this building is duplicitous.
You're running an illegal teleportation business?
Loran says, he's got to make ends meet somehow. Come on. It's...
You're part of the wearing back. You need to be sensible.
No, but What? What? Who are you, really? How do you know that?
We're not ourselves right now.
He looks at you guys, scrutinizing.
Do you see the
column? Looks down at the ring.
Which ring?
The one that he was given.
The really fancy royal ring.
The one ring.
2. No, can't place you.
Columns? I think Sparks will walk up to her own column and be like,
no, don't point at the bloody columns. He smacks your hand.
Sorry,
don't
point the other ones.
No use. They're only visible to the... okay, they're gone. It's gone. All right. Okay, he's like, you like columns? Okay, I do not understand. Do you want me to teleport you or not?
Okay.
Oh.
Let's move to the teleportation as we walk and talk.
No, we're doing it here.
We're doing it right here. Cool.
Anything you have to say to me, you can say to me now.
Oh, you will never take off in the carpet industry. That's my psychic prediction today.
We don't have to hurt this man.
We do.
How do you know?
How do you know?
No, I'm not. I have reflected. I learned from my mistakes.
You haven't made your mistakes yet.
I mean, he's like looking at you guys with like horror and confusion and just says, no more talking.
Just give me one of my rings back, I'll tell you the future.
I need payment for this. The shop is expensive to run.
I can tell you how to make more money.
No, I don't. I prefer to play in certainties than gambles.
I'm psychic. Can I roll a persuasion check?
Yes. Thought I was going wrapping this up quickly.
That's 15.
15. If you can give me the equivalent in gold for the teleportation.
I said I would give you a psychic reading, not gold.
I don't know. How about you give me a psychic reading and then I decide how much it's worth.
Okay. Also, like, what can I give a psychic reading that won't cause the world to shatter? Sobek.
Yes.
That is your name.
It is.
How else would I know that?
It's written on my shop.
How do we know that you're from that shop?
You will meet a bunch of ragtag adventurers.
I'm looking at a bunch of ragtag adventurers right now.
Not us, no.
Right.
A completely different group of ragtag adventurers.
I've already met a different group of ragtag adventurers.
Yes, them. That's the group.
So you're telling my past?
You'll meet them again.
So you've just been stalking me?
You'll meet them again. And they will cause you great happiness.
They haven't done so far.
No, but they will.
They stole my journal.
They will bring about a great boom in your business in the where and back. And they might also steal a pearl of power while they're at it.
From me.
Yeah.
So
I think
I shouldn't associate with them any further.
I think you should invest in the pearl of power market. That's my psychic reading.
So that I can be stolen from more.
No, so that you can lower your prices by buying them in bulk, and then they won't have to steal it, and then they would appreciate you and build bonds with you rather than feeling that they have to steal from you, because those groups of adventurers, they're going to be very wealthy in the future, and they'll be able to patronize your shop.
I'm feeling patronized right now.
You said patronize.
How tone and inflection can change the sincerity of a word. Right. That. You know what? I will give you. He reaches in his pockets and he finds like a piece of paper and he just unfolds it. He's like, it's a coupon. It's a coupon for Laurent's Atelier. He gave it to me the other day. I don't know. I don't want it, so you can have that. And I think I have got some small change. He withdraws 5 copper pieces and a bent silver coin.
Bent coin.
You don't have a hat.
Can I look at that?
Money.
Can I look at the bent coin?
You look at the bent coin? Yeah.
Well, bent?
I found these on the floor. These were my lucky coins. Perhaps it's my lucky day.
Do you want it back then?
He puts it in his hand.
No, that's for you now. And Laurent is like, oh, okay. Did you just call him Laurent?
Yeah.
Hang on! I'm being fooled here. Laurent Dehane. And Laurent is like, no.
There could be many Laurents.
There could be many Laurents.
There could be so many of them.
Laurent Dehane. Give me that bent coin back.
No, it's ours now. I gave you an accurate
Sparks.
I bit it. Sorry, let me wipe it.
You bit it back into place back, so he looks really upset.
I lightly bit it. It was,
Okay, he looks not so upset. And puts it in his. You keep the coppers and the coupon. Right, I'm teleporting you then to get you out of here. Where are we going? And
The location.
Sai gives you the location. He's like,
Thank you.
fine. I'm keeping this ring. Just in case you do ever steal me a pearl of power.
That's fine. It's cursed anyway.
Sure. He starts chanting under his breath.
Also, and blows some frost off his arm when he puts the ring on.
Vigorantis halaboni helabatigani ha. That's his magic sound. And there's like kind of like a swirl of air kind of like rushing around the room, and Sai steps back and he just says, I'll keep up my end of the agreement. I'll check and see if Blackfeather's dead or not. But send me word of Cass when you can.
Okay. I'll get her to send you a postcard.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
Your blood pot is slightly scary.
The boss man demands it. How can I deny? The boss man is, and you hear like a whoosh, and you feel like this familiar teleportation rush of falling in still air and then slamming into the ground without ever moving at all.
Whee.
You guys find yourselves in a flat grass plain. In the far distance, you can see a line of mountains which reach up to the sky. Their tips are covered by clouds. Beyond those, you know the green sea probably lies. And there are valleys which kind of signal the beginning of its tree kind of like fortress, which prevents most travelers from getting through to this area unescorted. Turning around, you see the kind of like telltale rise of the city-state to the south of you, and not too far off, but far enough that it looks smaller than it did when you guys were at the Gauntlet. The dragon, Eldrelith, watching over the city of its namesake. But now that you have your bearings, looking back, you see you are standing in what appears to be the kind of entrance to a crumbling like estate, like farming estate. You see a decrepit barn off to the left. You see a few copses of trees and fields which seem to have been kind of like built into the like naturally kind of like flat landscape here, perfect for crops, though they have been in disuse, at least from this estate, for some time, it seems, as they have been overtaken by wildflowers and weeds. And you look to the other buildings around, beyond the kind of ruins, and you see that there is one which seems to still be standing and still be welcoming. You kind of walk towards it, knowing this is your target, and you actually see that there is a slight smoke coming out of the chimney. Someone's lit a fire in here. And as you approach, you get the waft of cooking on the air. And you realize that it's been a while since you've had a home-cooked meal. Take a deep, deep breath. And the first thing that hits you, that unsettles you, but you can't quite place why, is whoever is cooking with a lot of garlic. And I'm going to leave you guys to think about that, and we can get back to our game next time.
That's really horrible, Emma. Your microphone. I think you should really consider what you've said just then, and that you have the ability to retcon what you've done next game with Paul Clove.
Clove. Sparks. Anna.
Just all of these buildings and ruins, do they all look within 1,000 feet? Roughly 300 meters of us.
Yes, yeah.
Alright, next time I'll cast Locate Object.
Okay, cool. Not a problem. Not a problem. And that is the game! You fight this guy. You fight the next guy. You fight the big guy.
I would like to tell Laran that I lied to Sobek, and that instead of investing in pearls of power, he should invest in potions of arcane cultivation.
Okay.
It's very important.
All right. Thank you.
Psychic tip of the day. You're all going to get one.
He says, I'll keep it in mind. Thank you, guys. Sorry for taking you the Aurora break.
For the
Shame
session.
we could not see it.
There
We've
was
been
no
looking
Aurora break. There was no Aurora to see.
devastated.